All right, well, welcome back to Exhaust Sports Auto. My name is Kevin, and we are here to check out the 2021 Kia Seltos S model. So it's the model with the 2-liter 4-cylinder mated with the IVT/CVT. So who do we have to thank for this little opportunity? Well, it is none other than University Kia in Durham, North Carolina. You can talk to my guy, Z. He's a great guy. I think most people will like him if you met him. So if you want to purchase a Kia or any of the other vehicles that they have here, you may do so, and you may contact Z. All of his contact information is going to be down in the description box below, so check it out. Let's just get started with this little review, shall we? Because I have been wanting to check out this vehicle for some time now. Here's why I like this car so much, because I actually already drove the Hyundai Kona 2020 model, of course, and that was pretty much, this is kind of based on the Hyundai Kona, and that was a great platform. That was a phenomenal vehicle. Go ahead and check out that review if you haven't seen it already. I really appreciated driving it. So what does Kia have to offer here? Well, obviously the exterior is completely different. Honestly, I like the way that this looks far more, actually. This looks way cooler. It looks a little bit more rugged. Reminds me of a little RC remote control car that I had when I was a kid. I just like it. It's a cool looking thing, honestly. So I've always liked the Kia design language. They're always a little bit more edgy with their design, so I appreciate that. You have an option here, just choose whichever one you like the looks of the most. But practically there is one slight advantage. This does ride slightly higher than a Hyundai Kona, so that's kind of the difference made there. When they kind of went to design these vehicles, driving fun and all that stuff, that was a huge thing for them. Something that they really focused in on. So driving connection, all that good stuff, that was something that they really focused on, and that was Hyundai. So this is Kia. Kia is more so of that fun driving vehicle, if you will, so there is that. But I really appreciate the chassis and all that good stuff and the ride quality, so we're about to check all that out here. Brakes are great. Everything about these Hyundai Kia cars are so freaking natural, easy to pilot, easy to drive. This is obviously not a huge gargantuan machine, so placing it on a road is not even remotely an issue. But here's the thing, at least with that Hyundai Kona, it was so quiet, it was so comfortable, and I'm sure this is going to be just the same, if not better, because it rides a little bit higher. So there's that. What you just saw there was that 2-liter 4-cylinder, port-injected 4-cylinder. Produces about 146 horsepower, 132 pounds-feet of torque. Exact same engine as the Kona, what they use in the Fortes, the Elantras, all that good stuff. I love this motor, but most importantly, I like this particular trim the most because it comes with the IVT. So here's the thing, if you want more power, you can get it. It's about 175 horsepower, 195 pounds-feet of torque out of a turbo 4-cylinder. And here's the thing about that motor, you get mated to a 7-speed dual clutch. I like the IVT more. I like this transmission. It's so smooth. It responds extremely well. I just love it. I first drove it in the Kia Forte, loved it, and they just tuned it so naturally. And honestly, it shifts better than most automatics in this class do. So it's just such a refined experience. I absolutely love it. But here's the thing, I will say there is slightly more noise than the Kona, and that's kind of because it rides a little bit higher. However, it is soaking up the bumps extremely well because it does ride a little bit higher. So that's kind of the slight little trade-offs there. But both of these vehicles are very quiet. They are very composed. They are very kind of satisfying to drive, if you will. The body control is really well contained. I kind of like the way that the body kind of leans and stuff like that. It's a very cool sensation. Steering feels phenomenal. Here's the thing. Let me tell you something. I was telling Z about this. What Hyundai and Kia is kind of doing here is they are doing what Toyota used to do, being a quiet, comfortable, and refined vehicle. Okay, but they're doing it better than Toyota, and that's kind of why Toyota's sales are kind of slumping now, because these not only undercut Toyotas, but they're quieter, they're more comfortable, they're cheaper. That's insane. So take advantage of all that good stuff. The thrust isn't half bad. It's not the fastest thing in the world, but it's more than enough. You know what I'm saying? For a city street car, if this is your first car, you're buying this thing for your kid or something like that, yes, it's very safe and all that good stuff, but this is so satisfying. This is, like I kind of said in the Kia K5 video, this is a little too nice for a kid. This is really good, dude. I like the ride quality of this thing. I like how this 4-cylinder, dude, when I had the Corolla XSE, when I floored it, dude, it was so freaking loud. I mean, I don't know what they did with that 4-cylinder, but it was just so loud. It's a lot quieter, and it actually rides just as well as most Toyotas do, so I love that. So you're about to chuck it into this little corner here. Yes, of course, there's like lean and roll with this vehicle, but dude, that's totally appropriate for the height of this vehicle, for what this is. This handles extremely well, lots of confidence, very nice tight turning circle, all that good stuff. It's an easy car to whip around. You know, I'm kind of driving it harder than you probably would or should, but even when you do that, you still have confidence. You know, highway stability is great. These are the kind of practical things here. Look at this. It doesn't really peel out on me in the corners. And it mimics like gear shifts, essentially. Like it pretty much mimics an 8-speed transmission. You could daily drive this. It's cheaper than the competitors. I mean, it's kind of that trendy, cool vehicle. If you're looking at a Kia Soul, I think that this kind of handles a little bit better, and it kind of rides a bit better than the Forte. However, this particular model is riding on 17-inch wheels, and it's got some excellent tires on it. Those Kumo Solus or whatever. I love these tires. I drove a Acura TLX with these tires, and it handled like Michelin's, dude. Out in the rain, all that good stuff. It's a great tire. Do not underestimate Kumo tires. I kid you not. But really, the only real cons I've noticed with this, it's a slight bit of wind noise, which is totally appropriate for what this vehicle is. It's still not ridiculous. I'm just comparing it with the Kona. It's not the fastest thing in the world, but it doesn't need to be because it's very economical, very efficient. That's another reason why I like this motor slightly more than the turbo model, because you're just going to be cruising in it. And while you're cruising, you're literally going to be getting like 30 mpg combined. So that's going to be amazing. Probably over 30 mpg. I think it's rated for 29 city, 34 on the highway. Phenomenal. You don't even need a freaking hybrid anymore. You know how efficient these vehicles are. Here's the other thing though. When Kia Hyundai claims like a certain mpg figure, they actually get it or they exceed it. That's the other thing I really like. Another thing I want to talk about with the driving. Okay, these vehicles, they have an optional all-wheel drive system. I'm testing out the S base model because this is kind of the vehicle I would buy because of the price. I find Kias to be the most valuable at their more base / mid-level trims. You know what I'm saying? But this has enough features. I'm going to talk about that in the interior segment. But here's the thing with the all-wheel drive. If you live in a northern climate, this is going to be very versatile. You can daily drive this, no problems. But here's another thing. You're going to get a multi-link rear suspension with the all-wheel drive model. So in these front-wheel drive models, you only get a torsion beam. So here's the thing. I drove the Kona. That was also pretty much the exact same as this. Front-wheel drive, all that good stuff. I still love the way it handled and the way that it rode. So I have no issues getting a front-wheel drive model and saving the money if you don't need the all-wheel drive. But if you need the all-wheel drive, you're going to be getting a multi-link, and that's great. It might ride a little bit better in the rear end, so there's that if you care about the rear occupants, which I don't know why you would, unless you have like a baby or something. But anyway, this is fine. This is appropriate, and I really like this. The most important thing is it's cheap, and it's just so casual and enjoyable to drive. You know what I'm saying? You whip it, you have fun with it. These normal cars have come a long way in terms of their ride quality, all that good stuff with the features that they offer. It's tremendous. Enjoy for what it is. I personally like it. It's something I would put on my short list if I was looking for a little SUV looking thing. I personally just like the way that this looks over the Kona, but I would say that the Kona is slightly like 2% more refined than this, but it's like a negligible thing. I'm just finding things to nitpick with it because obviously I need to keep it objective, right? So that's about it. Otherwise, looks-wise alone, I probably have to choose this. That's really what it comes down to. You know, choose whichever one you like the looks of the most. That's about it. So there you are. Also, these things lease dirt cheap, so that's another great way of taking advantage of these vehicles, especially if you want a slightly more upscale model, you know, either with the turbo and all that stuff. Leasing this might make some more sense to you if you want that lower monthly payment, so there is that. But yes, wonderful little driving experience, one that's going to satisfy most people, so enjoy it and have fun. You know, higher ride clearance, you know, that's pretty good. It makes it easier to get in and out of. You know, you shouldn't be as worried about, you know, hitting curbs and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? So that's pretty good. So with that, let's talk about the interior now. Okay, Kevin, so why a base model? Why are you really that cheap? Yes, I am, because this is a normal car for normal human beings to drive every day out on the road. So I don't want to overspend on a vehicle. So that's why I really like these Kias at the more base model trims. And then on top of that, you know, you take advantage of any types of dealer discounts and all that good stuff. Well, there you go. I mean, that's a pretty phenomenal vehicle. You know, it's already undercutting all the Toyotas and Hondas and all that crap. So, you know, that's amazing. That's what I really like about this vehicle. You know, that on top of the amazing fuel economy, that's where it makes a lot of sense. But here's the thing, though. If you wanted the more options, obviously they're available to you. You pay up for it. That's not an issue. That's why I said, lease it if you do kind of want to take advantage of some of those features and all that good stuff. But I am satisfied here. So let's talk about why I'm satisfied here. This interior space, okay, it's got some funky little things going on here, and I kind of like it. This kind of blue matte plastic trim, I really like it. There are hard touch plastics being used here. That should be forgiven. This is a normal automobile. This is not a Mercedes S-Class. It's not a Lexus LC. You know what I'm saying? This car costs like less than 25 grand. Just get used to it. But everything, much like the Kona, everything's well put together in here. That's what I like. You do have some of that black plastic stuff here, but it's not too much. It's just like a little bit of it. You do have a regular key. I should have a flip out key. I should put it in there, put in the ignition. Again, I have no issues with any of this stuff. Another thing, I do kind of have an issue with this. Kia is usually pretty good about this. There's no one touch up and down windows. There is just for the driver's side, but it only goes down with one touch, but you have to kind of hold it to make it go back up again. And that's the same thing with the other three windows. So that kind of sucks. I wish I had one touch automatics, but that's okay. You have the auto stop start function here, which you can just turn off with one button. It comes with a few safety options, but if you want more, you do have to pay up for it. It's like a package type thing, but you do have the lane keep assist and all that good stuff. So there is that. Door pocket space is excellent. I love that. It's very practical in here. Lots of little cubby spaces, lots of little spaces to put your phones and stuff like that. USB, you can charge your phone up very quickly there. You have two little cup holders, and center armrest is a great size. I love that. And you have a physical kind of parking brake, which is great. The climate control completely separated from the screen. You do have an 8-inch screen here, despite it being an S model. So you have the Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, all that good stuff. But back to the climate control. Very easy to use, very old school with the fan speeds and the no temps. You just have the cold, hot. That's it. That's all you need. Rear defroster, you got the dry mode selection here, which put into sport, it just kind of kicks you down a gear. It's not a big deal, but everything else very natural. Like I mentioned, I like the steering wheel. It's a perfect size. It's just nice to grip onto. It's like a leather wrapped steering wheel, which I absolutely love. And all the buttons on the steering wheel, easy to use, easy to get used to. Like I keep mentioning, Hyundai has the best infotainment. This is kind of that old school generation. You can get the optional 10.25-inch screen. You have some of the newer options and stuff like that, but this is my most favorite, 8-inch with these controls and this center gauge cluster. This is kind of what I like the most. You do have automatic headlights. I love seeing that. And these seats, they are a cloth seat, so they are going to be comfortable. They're going to burn you. They're not going to be freezing you in the summers and the winters, all that stuff, and it's going to age extremely well. That's another reason why I like these seats. So there you go. But they are manual seats. That kind of sucks, but hey, it is what it is. Everything about this is going to be literally the most reliable version of this car. There's a lot less electronics, a lot less, it's obviously got no turbo on it. It's a port injected 4-cylinder, so there you go. Infotainment, like I mentioned, I really like it. It's very easy to use. Touchscreen is very appropriate. Responds to your inputs pretty well, but most importantly, it's easy, and that's what I like. Bluetooth, all that crap. And now it's got the regular audio system with some funky little designs here. It's got dented and bent in and stuff like that. I like that. It's the little things, the little characteristic cues that they throw into these vehicles. I like that a lot. Glove box is a decent size. Now, here's the thing, though. There's no sunroof, by the way, but that kind of helps with the rigidity of the vehicle, so I don't mind that. Now, here's the thing. The rear seats, right? I do fit, but it's not super spacious. Obviously, it's more of a compact SUV, you know what I'm saying? It's not a Telluride, so just bear that in mind. I am 5'11". I can fit back there. It's not an issue. Here's a good thing, though. There's a lot of toe room underneath these front seats, so you can really put your toes underneath the seat, so that kind of gives you some extra space. I like that. That was smart. So you got that going on. Obviously, step in height, like I mentioned before, very easy, nice to get into. If you're a little bit elderly, this is kind of the car for you. Here's the thing, the trunk is also decent. It's not super huge or anything like that, but you can fold down the rear seats, obviously, and get a ton more space. So it can definitely be very versatile if you want it to be, so there is that. So all this, again, it's about the same dimensions and all that stuff as the Hyundai Kona, but just keep in mind, you know what I'm saying, just buy whichever one you like the looks of the most. That's about it. Otherwise, all the tech, all the functionality, everything is about the same, so there is that. There's a lot of competition, like I mentioned. Mazda's making great cars. I like the Hondas. I like the Toyotas. They're all great cars. So what do you do? What do you choose? Like I kind of mentioned with the Kia K5 video, start with the Hyundai Kia vehicles first because A, they're cheapest, and B, they are kind of the best kind of all-rounder vehicles. They might not always have the best chassis and stuff like that, but they are usually one of the most quietest and most comfortable in the class, while offering excellent real-world fuel economy. So that's what I like about these vehicles, and that's why I kind of suggest people to start here first. I kind of like the character, the flair. Like, look at this piss yellow color that's going on here. I love this color. You know what I'm saying? It's like that BMW M4 yellow, if you will. Love it. That's great. You know, I'm sure it's Albert Bierman inspired. You know, a lot of people like to throw his name around, but I don't care who's responsible for it. I love it. It's got character. It's got some spunk to it, if you will. So there you go. Is it perfect? Of course not. Like I mentioned, you know, the chassis is, you know, it's got some roll in it, of course. You know, it doesn't quite handle like a Honda, but it doesn't need to. Like I mentioned, you know, most people drive stuff like this. You just cruise around at 45 miles per hour, obeying the speed limits, being comfortable, being quiet. That's all you need. So enjoy it. So hopefully you found value with this review. If you're an owner of this vehicle, please let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below, or if you own the Kona or whatever, if you just driven this vehicle, let me know your thoughts. Again, I'm going to leave all the University Kia's information down in the description box below. You may contact Z, and he'll be more than happy to help you out. So if you're out of state, whatever, he'll ship the car. It's not a big issue, so you can work with them. So have fun with that. Thank you again for watching. Take care, and goodbye.